Creating your own spells in Warcraft 3 can be really easy, but it depends on what kind of spell you want to make. There are 3 ways of making a spell. The first and easiest way is through the object editor. In here you can see all the existing spells that come with Warcraft 3, and from those spells you can create new custom abilities. But the only thing you can do in here is just to change the values of the fields from the spell you copied. There is no way to change the mechanic of the spell or chain multiple spells together. If we want to do that, we will have to use triggers to enhance our spells, which is the second way to make spells. Making these types of spells involves first making custom spells in the object editor, and then enhancing them by making triggers that change the behavior of the spell when it's used. Now the third way to make spells is by scripting with the Jazz scripting language. But this is pretty advanced and I don't know how to do it, and it's also really not beginner friendly, so I will not be covering it. However, when we make the triggers for our spells, we will use a few Jazz functions. We will do this because the trigger system actually doesn't do the best job of cleaning up stored values that are no longer useful. I'll explain this in more detail later. There are many types of spells we can make. Single target spells, AoE spells, passive abilities, channeling spells, self-cast spells, and buff spells. In this video, I will only be showing you single target and AoE spells. Let's begin with making an AoE spell, only with the object editor. Find yourself an AoE spell you want to copy. I will choose the Blizzard for our example. Right-click it and choose New Custom Ability. I'm just going to name it Custom Blizzard. Accept the ID. There are a lot of fields we can change the values of. I will go through the most useful in a bit, but first let's change the area of effect of the spell. As you can see, we can set the different values for different levels. I will change the AoE for every level. Now let's rename the map. And we'll create a custom hero. Remove its existing abilities and give him our custom Blizzard. Now open the unit palette and place the custom paladin into the map. Now we'll create a region, and we're going to use this region to spawn some XP books so we can level up the hero. Open the trigger editor and edit the melee initialization trigger. Add the set the time of day action and set it to noon so we get some more light in the map. To be able to level up our character, I will just add a trigger that will spawn XP books every 2 seconds in the region that we place in the map. Save, and let's test our custom spell. Now you can see the area of effect of the level 1 Blizzard is pretty small. When we get to level 2, we can see it has doubled in size. When we get to level 6 now, we can see it has doubled in size again, and it's pretty huge. Right, now let's take a look at the fields. I will first show you how the spells are organized. In the folders on the left, we can see all the spells that comes with Warcraft 3. They're all separated into folders for each race. If we expand the folders, you can see the spells are then again separated into spells for units and spells for heroes. The difference between unit and hero spells is who can access them. Heroes can access both hero spells and unit spells, while units can only use unit spells. But if you want a normal unit, like a peasant for example, to be able to use a hero spell, create a custom unit of the peasant and turn it into a hero. All you have to do is to put a capital H in the beginning of the ID. The custom unit will then be registered as a hero unit. As you can see, it now has access to both the hero and unit abilities. Now let's go through the most useful fields for the spells. I will start at the top and show you examples of what they're used for. The art icon research field is used for setting the icon you will see when you're in the spell upgrade menu for the heroes. The art icon normal field is used to set the icon you will see in the normal window where you can see spells that are available. Here's an overview over all the different lightning effects. These only work for single target spells. The next field is the Art Missile Arc field. It gives you control over how curved the path of the spell is. I also changed the prop of the object, which you can do with the Missile Art field. Next up is the Missile Speed field. It gives you control over how fast the missile travels. This field only works on single target spells. Be aware that this changes the mechanic of the spell. It will now take longer before the enemy is hit. So we just looked at the missile speed field. As you can see here, I'm looking at the blizzard spell, and the missile speed is set to 0. This is because this is an AoE spell, and therefore this field doesn't do anything. It only works for single target spells. Now the next field I want to touch on is the stats hero ability field. This is used to categorize the spell. Since the blizzard spell is meant for heroes, this checkbox is checked, and the spell is therefore in the heroes folder. If I were to uncheck it, it would be put in the units folder. But it's nice to keep things properly organized, so we'll set it back to true again. The next field is the stats levels field. This determines how many levels the spell shall have, and you can have up to a maximum of 100 levels. Now the tech tree requirements field is used if you want the player to be required to research a technology before he can upgrade the spell. Now I want to quickly mention the targets allowed field, which is important to know about to make sure your spell works as you want it to. When you edit this field, you will see a bunch of checkboxes. You have to check the boxes of the units you want the spell to be able to hit. At last, we will go over the text fields. If we set the stats levels to 1, we can see a better overview over them. The first field, text editor suffix, is used to organize your spells. It adds whatever you type in here to the end of the name of the spell. We will use this later when we enhance our spells with triggers. The next 3 are pretty self-explanatory. The text-name is what you see in the left menu here in the object editor. The next 4 fields are mostly used with Jazz scripting, I believe, so don't worry about these. The last 6 is used for the text to see when you hover your mouse cursor over the spells at different times in the game. The text-tooltip-learn fields show you the text when you learn the spell for the first time. The -extended version of these fields show you the text in the lower part of the window. The normal fields is for when you've learned the spell. The turn-off fields are for spells that can be deactivated, such as the immolation spell. Now I've shown you the most useful things that you need to know when you want to make a spell in the object editor. I'm going to split the video into 2 parts so this one won't become too long. So go on to part 2 if you want to learn how to make trigger enhanced spells, which is kind of really cool actually. Thank you so much for watching.